Welcome to the channel. We are back with chapter 1 of Beyond Time's Embrace, the Monarch of Knowledge. If you're enjoying these stories and more on the channel, please like, subscribe, and comment so we know to keep going for you. Chapter 1 Awaken My Heart. My eyes flutter open to a bright world. The grass, damp from the morning dew, presses against my skin. The sun's rays bounce off my face, gently coaxing me awake. I feel lighter than usual. The aches of reaching my mid-20s not as pronounced today. After a few more blinks, my eyes fully open, revealing a hillside stretching out before me. A flowing countryside with a stream and bridge below. What appears to be smoke from a fire rises just past a line of trees. I might have been in awe of the beauty if I weren't so confused about how I got here. Shouldn't I be in Chicago? Looking down only raises more questions than answers. Knee-high boots with a spatter of mud meet leather pants? My shirt, a blouse held together loosely by twine. The good news is that my body looks the same. I'm standing tall and my beard and hair are intact. Why can't I remember how I got here? Did I fall asleep? Or drink too much? It doesn't feel like a dream, but I'm not about to hurt myself to check. Besides, I've never once been able to question if I was in a dream before. Oh god, I really hope I'm not dead. Wait, what's my name? How do I know I came from Chicago but not my name? Dream or not, I'd better move. My stomach feels like it needs food. Down the hill to the river, I see a tiny bridge to cross. Through the trees towards the smoke and the smell of food. The village on the other side is quaint yet tiny. The smoke I saw rises from a large fire pit in the center. It looks like everyone is out working, as I count above 30 people. Mostly elderly and kids. It's odd. Circling the village reveals more huts than these people would need. Huts and villagers. Man, I'm really in some olden times. On the opposite side of the fire from me sits a barn, roughly twice the size of any other. That must be the town hall of sorts. Best place to start. Hello? I say, pushing the creaky door open. The inside looks a bit wider than it seemed outside. The table overlooks a small fire pit in the center. Hay surrounds the walls. I see a loft level above. Who's that now? A low, raspy voice booms from behind the only wall in the building. Just a guy traveling through, I say as one of the tallest men I've ever seen comes around the wall. His head nearly reaches the loft. Skinny under his rags, with sunken eyes and gray hair everywhere. A traveler, are you? Certainly not from here or Riverfall. I know every face, he says, barreling towards me, spry for an older giant. Riverfall? The question escapes me. The little village across the river from here. Rats, the lot of 'em, he spits. Delightful. I just need to know where I am. Is there a city nearby? I ask. You, boy, are in Falls Town, in the kingdom of Dromar. The royal city is the only one I know of in these lands. Full day's ride or more, he says, taking a seat near the fire. A kingdom. Well, that's one piece of good information. Falls Town and River Falls? Do you know each other well? You don't know of it? You ask a lot of questions, boy. Haven't even told me your name or where you've traveled from, he says, looking to rise once more. If I could remember my name, I'd gladly share it. As for where I'm from, it's a place called Chicago, but I feel like that's a long way from here. I tell him, no need to hold back. I'm still hoping this is a dream after all. Don't have a name? Bloody hell, that's a shame. Ain't much of a man without one. Mine's Lars. Chicago. Must be far off. I've never heard of it, though I've never seen much other than this river, of course. About you and the other village, then. I cut him off, worried he may start rambling. My stomach is getting closer to grumbling. Aye, been terrible neighbors for more than a generation, since my pa's time. You see, two brothers led us back then. Both loved the same girl. One brother rightly asked her father for her hand and was given it. He starts. Gee, hope she wasn't his sister, I joke under my breath, though not as quietly as I should have. We aren't savages, boy. My mother was his sister. This was his cousin, he roars back. Right, I cut in. If you're going to hear it, come sit and have a bowl. My granddaughter makes a fine forest stew. Now the other brother, always jealous because he wasn't wise enough to ask her pa, made a big deal of his love for her and stole her away across the river to what's now called River Falls. Took a bunch of filthy backstabbers he didn't like, his brother either. Good workers, though. Young. We've lost a lot since then. Getting by, but only barely, he concludes. Well, thank you for the stew, I say, having hardly choked it down. And the story, I fear I may need to sleep here tonight. Still a bit confused, and it'll take some time to get to that city. If it helps with the chores, can I use an empty hut and have a little food? I continue. I just told you, we're barely getting by. Now you want more of our food? You're going to marry my granddaughter then? That's a chore I need done. Oh, he pauses as I ready myself to run. There may be a task. Complete it, and what you ask is yours. A hut as long as you want it, and enough meals. On my honors, on my honor as this village's elder, he says, a smile lingering on his face. River Falls has a bounty of fish and children to help with the harvest coming soon. They'll never trust one of us. I'm betting an outsider like you might be able to convince them, comes his inquiry. So I go to this village and I convince them to forget a decades old rivalry and give you supplies and workers, I confirm. You've got to earn your keep, boy. And with that, I was off, but not before he stopped me as I opened the door. You'll need a name for now. Use the hero from the stories my ma always told me. Declan, he yells as I leave. Through the trees once more, back over the bridge and to the left, as the man said. I only now realize how lucky I am to speak the language. About a quarter mile down, I see a ridge and the river drop off into a waterfall. No wonder I missed coming here. First, the ridge hides it from the hill I woke up on. The village is built around the river. Three boys lay on a dock trying to catch fish swimming downstream. There are far fewer huts than in Fallstown. Mostly men and boys here. No more people than across the way, and all seem to be standing in a circle in the center of town. Hello there, I say, approaching. Who goes there? You aren't from Fallstown, are you? Did they send an outsider to raid this year? A short, stocky man with dusty hair and beard calls back. Not a raider, just a guy trying to earn a meal and a bed to sleep. I call. Raiders. Oh God, what time period did I end up in? Well, what do you want then? The same man says as the townsfolk open up for me to approach. To be honest, I was sent here by the elder of Fallstown, Lars, I think. But it's all for a good reason, I say. What would that be, youngin? He asks. His fellow townspeople look wary of me. Look, they've fallen on hard times over there. I heard about the bad blood between you all, but they need food and some help with the farms in order to survive. Since it's been a good few years since those brothers fought over that girl, can't you help your neighbor now? I implore. Bad blood? Decades, the crowd murmurs. Oh, did Lars tell you everything? How about since my grandparents left that village together, Fallstown has made a tradition of raiding us every year to get the supplies they need. We're preparing them for them now. So you can go back to Lars and tell him to come get any food he needs to fill his belly, the short man growls. Look, none of this seems right. I'm not remotely from around here and involved in these issues. I just really need a place to sleep and food to eat, I explain. Well, you won't be getting anything here. If you're a friend of Lars, out with you, he states. Look, look, look. There has to be something. Anything you need. Let me try and do that. Maybe it'll be worth the food they need. And you all can stop fighting so much, I implore. Father, there is a young man, slightly taller than his father says. Not now, and not one of them, the short old man responds. There is no one else. We have no women close to age. She's the only one left until we reach the city, he pushes back. I know, Sam. But what? Are you going to marry her and make us one village again, forgetting these years of history? His father responds. The man is right, father. Would it be so wrong to move forward? They have more young ones for our kids to grow up with. I would be lucky to have her, Sam explains to his father. They will never agree. Lars will never wed his granddaughter to one of us. But I'll put the task to the new lad, the older man declares. So we have a deal? I ask. We have a deal. Take my son Sam. If you return with a marriage back, I will agree to help them again. Like in the old days, he says. Sam and I head back to Fallstown. On the way, I introduce myself and explain how I woke up here and seem to be missing some of my memory. To his credit, Sam is very accepting. He tells me about the last winter when a fever cost his village most of their women, including his mom and any girl his age. Overall, he seems like a nice guy. I hope for both our sakes that I can make this marriage work. As we approach Fallstown, Sam stops in his tracks. It's probably best I stop here, he says. Right, I reply. Lars and a cute young girl are standing by the fire in the middle of the village. They seem to be arguing as I approach. The girl stares daggers at me with her blue eyes as Lars turns and greets me. How goes it, boy? Did you get us that food and help with the farm? He asks. Well, you weren't exactly honest with me about the feud between your villages, but I do have a resolution if you agree to it, I say. Not honest, eh? Well, we have to survive, don't we? He jests. You won't hear a complaint from me, but I don't appreciate being played for a fool. Either way, if you agree to marry your granddaughter to the River Falls elder's son, Sam, whom I brought with me, they would be willing to combine villages once more and help you, I state firmly. My granddaughter? To one of them? Well, hell, that's easy, boy. He can have her. He may not may not make it through the winter, he explains. That was a lot easier than I expected. I call Sam over. Lodge pulls the girl from behind him and makes her face us. Somehow she looks even more displeased. Matilda, will you accept me as your husband? Sam asks. No. Screw you, Matilda says, storming off. Her long, curly blonde hair nearly smacks me as she turns. Well, that went well, I joke. Yeah, that seems like her, both men say. Lars, get her to agree to meet Sam in a house. I think I know a way he can convince her. Sam, let me chat with you. I tell both of them. Lars walks off after Matilda, and from a distance seems to urge her into agreeing. All right, Sam, listen to me. This is how you'll convince her. I will act as a witness for her honor and yours. First, I want you to ask her about herself, what she likes, and how she spends her days. Why would I ask such things? He says. Look, women are far smarter than us men. It's good you learn that. The best thing to do is let them tell you about the things they care about, the things they think about. Now, let me ask, have you any experience with women? I say, no. Fantastic. Very helpful. Allow me to explain. When I give the signal, a single whistle, which I will tell her means half the time has passed, I want you to express your commitment to this union, then drop to one knee and lift her leg. Start by kissing her leg slowly and gently. With every kiss, let her feel your breath on her skin. Continue kissing up her leg, and when you can lift her dress, calmly push her legs apart. Then you'll see her womanly part. Beautiful pink lips. Kiss those lips you see. Lick them like you would your favorite dish in the world. Listen to her breathing. The heavier it gets, the more you should keep going until you hear her cry out. Do you understand what I've told you? I explained him in quick details as Lars and Matilda begin to walk back towards us. Yes, I think, says Sam. Full faith in you, buddy, I say, giving him a pat on the shoulder. I agree to hear him out. I will not change my mind after, But if it gets this ordeal done, so be it, says Matilda, walking into an empty hut. Sam and I follow. I leave just after Sam begins our true plan. When the couple emerges holding hands, only I notice her hair is a mess and her face flushed. They raise their hands to express their union. Lars pats my back, exclaiming that I had earned my dinner. The two villages combined for a celebration and began planning the wedding that night. It truly looks like I'll be here for a while. I have plans for these villages, as someone with knowledge of the future might. First, we need three things: a kitchen, so I don't have to eat any more of this stew, a wall, because I'm not dealing with these raiders, and for myself, the world's oldest profession: a brothel.